Isn't it crazy how the whole innocent until proven guilty thing exists sometimes and then sometimes it doesn't, right? Well, we're going to talk about Diddy for a second, but we're also going to be talking about a YouTuber. And look, man, I mean no malicious comments towards him. But for the second time, I know that a YouTuber has called me out. And for the second time, a YouTuber has said, I'm never going to talk to them or talk about them or talk with them or anything positive any longer. And for the second time, it all boils down to one major thing. Disagreements about certain facts of life, right? And so I want to address this because a YouTuber that I've actually supported a lot. This person has come out and said that anyone that gives Diddy the same respect that people gave Brian Koberger and says innocent until proven guilty it's a bad take. And his reasoning wasn't that he didn't mention anything that Diddy did illegal. His reasoning was that men shouldn't use their power to obtain women. Well, I got some bad news to tell you. Men have been obtaining power and wealth to impress and obtain women since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time. Now, this person asked, and I assume he was asking me, how would I feel if my daughter, if any of my daughters had went to a Diddy party? My answer is very simple. I would hate it. But it still doesn't make it illegal. Do you understand what I'm saying? It still doesn't make it illegal. So running around yelling, Diddy deserves 25 to life for using his power and money to attract and obtain whores. That's not doable because that's not illegal. And even if you were to say doing ecstasy, having sex with multiple women, and all of that was somehow illegal, if that's what you're saying, even if that's your position, that's still not a 25 to life crime. Okay? Partying with women, getting women drunk, hanging out with women, and those women doing the same very things they would have done on the streets anyway, is not illegal. Let me make something clear. Every single woman that went to Diddy's mansion, that went to Diddy's parties, did so with hopes of obtaining the eye and the desires of P. Diddy. Now, there are several reasons for that. A lot of times you'll see women become groupies, clout chase. Not just that, but chase the bag, chase the money. There's so many people all over this planet, so many dudes that are manipulated and used for their money by women simply wanting to chase the bag. Now, I don't believe that any of it is morally sound. I don't believe parties and whoring and drugs and all of that is morally sound at all. However, I find it disgusting when all fingers go pointing at the men, when the women were being just as manipulative, just as scandalous, just as anything, but just as deceptive, just as devious. But one YouTuber has this like Captain Save-A-Hole mentality, where for some reason women are never blamed for any of the faults, any of the mistakes, any of the actions that they do. If a woman is out selling ass, it's got to be the pimp's fault. It can't be the whore's fault, right? If a woman is involved in a domestic dispute, it has to be the man's fault. It can't be the woman's fault, right? Just saying. We've been down this road before, brother. We've been down this road before. And when it comes to going down this road, there's a reason that you softened your position last time, and there is a reason in which you went against your own verbiage. I'll never talk to him again last time. The reason is because logic eventually always wins out. Now I get it. Some people have an emotional attachment. It's almost an autistic attachment to certain ideologies and concepts. And one of those things, a lot of times, is the Captain Save-A-Ho mentality. And then where anything that involves a woman that involves a man, it's automatically the man's fault, and he believes he needs to put on his white knight outfit and go save the broad. Well, many women that are in here right now that don't manipulate men for money, that don't chase the bag, many women that are watching me right now are fully aware that those clout chasers, those groupies, those women are at fault just as much as the men that partake in them. But let's not forget the fact that we are all grown-ups. If women want to fuck for resources, they have the ability to do that and the right to do that. And if men want to use their resources to be able to fuck said women, they have the right to do that. By the way, and outside of the entertainment industry, and outside of people that's wealthy or not wealthy, by the way, that's considered normal. How many women, let's be honest here, when a woman meets a male, one of their first questions is, what do you do? What that means is, how much money do you make? Are you a fit partner for me? Can you maintain, can you take care of me and kids and things of that nature? When a woman tells their friends, hey, I got a new boyfriend, one of the first questions is what do they do? When a woman tells her parents that she's got a new boyfriend, one of the first questions is, what do they do? That question is a very specific question. And what is really meant behind that question is, how much money do they make? Women have been chasing resources and hunters for the entirety of the human race. Men have used said resources to obtain women for the entirety of our human race. Only right now within this liberal bullshit, only right now in today's liberal world is it acted or perceived that that's not the case. However, that's still very much the case. It's still very much so the case. A woman still wants a man that's able to provide. And that is essentially what they're doing when they're chasing the bag with people like P. Diddy. Okay? That is essentially what a lot of women do. They want a provider, a protector. Now, I admit, people like P. Diddy probably fail in the protection department. But the provision is what they're looking for. They're looking to slide in there and hope to obtain the love and ultimately the provision of Diddy or any other man. I don't understand why we're still arguing about this in 2024 like it's never been a thing. Why are we acting as if women do not seek male providers? We're acting like all of a sudden that's not the thing. And sometimes unscrupulous shit happens in the midst of that. But to then blame the men and say you're using your power and resources to obtain women as if that hasn't always been the case is completely laughable. Completely laughable. Every car men have ever bought, every rim men have ever bought, every house men have ever bought. Let me tell you something. Most men, if you ask a man, they don't want a big ass house. They don't want a house. Most men are just fine traveling and going to hotels or Airbnbs and going state to state. If you had the ability to do that, you would do that. The reason men are forced to settle down, men don't like marriage. Men don't like weddings. The reason men do all that and spend all them resources and buy homes is to impress a woman. And it's always been this way. Women peacock for men's provision and men peacock to get women's physicality. It's not that hard to understand. Women know it. Women know how to use their pussy as a bargaining chip, and they should use it as a bargaining chip. And men know that no matter what happens in our life, the more money we stack, the more women we will get. You can't tell me I'm more attractive now than when I was an all-city athlete, but I get more women now. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why I have so many goddamn women in my inbox wanting to party, wanting to freak off, yet when I was actually an athlete, young, in shape, it wasn't that way. Gee, I wonder why it is. Could it possibly be a level of success has been obtained? A level of lifestyle that other women would also like to engage in with me? So when it comes to Diddy, let me make something clear. Every single woman that knew they were going to them freak-offs knew it was a freak-off. And they are the ones to blame for that, not Diddy. Now, if Diddy did any of the rape or physical abuse, then he does need to go to jail. He does need to go to prison. Not 25 years. I will tell you now, that, well, rape, yes. I will tell you this now. You guys are all judging Diddy based on a domestic violence in a hotel 8 years ago. Even if that domestic violence was true, even if they had charged him for that, that's still not 25 to life. Hell, that's not even 1 year. In the United States of America, that incident that you saw P. Diddy do, that is a misdemeanor. That is a year probation, brother. Sorry to hurt your feelings. I understand you want a situation like that to be 25 to life, but that's never going to be 25 to life. Domestic battery in America is a class A misdemeanor, punishable of up to 1 year in jail or fine. Max 1 year, minimum 0 time. I know that because I know the goddamn law. I know that because I have experience in all of these situations. So you can use that and say, I don't like Diddy because of that video 8 years ago. Doesn't that sound familiar, bro? Doesn't that sound real familiar? Ain't it real funny how people dig up shit from a decade ago and then use that against someone? No. Oh, they weren't found guilty? Oh, that innocent until proven guilty thing no longer exists, which makes this particular YouTuber's entire gimmick throughout the Idaho 4 case hypocritical. Because this person's entire gimmick when it comes to the Idaho 4 case is innocent until proven guilty. It's literally how me and him connected. But that innocent until proven guilty only exists when he says it does. Only when it doesn't touch on heartstrings that he autistically is connected to. That you have a soft spot in your heart for women. I get that, and I understand that you're a man. You're supposed to. But that soft spot for women causes you to be blind in any situation dealing with women. Is there ever a time that it's women's fault for anything? If a woman is selling their ass on the streets, is that not her fault? If a woman is being a whore and going to parties and trying to fuck everybody with money, is that not her fault? Now, I've seen so many comments in my comment section talk about Diddy diddled kids. Show me the evidence, bro. And if you show me the evidence, I will report on that. Show me in the PCA where he's being charged with that. If he diddled kids, of course, send him to prison. If he raped people, sure, of course, send him to prison. But I know you're talking about, I know, mate, that you're talking about my video, and you're mad because I said he was a great party host. Number one, a lot of that was just a joke. But number two, it's kind of true. Because at the end of the day, those women were going to go to Hollywood parties anyway. And that's not illegal, man. I saw a picture on the Daily Mail today of a woman being used as a centerpiece on a Diddy party table with grapes all around her. Is that wrong? Is that illegal? No. It's just a whore being a whore, and Diddy using that whore to decorate the place and and to be theatric. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Diddy put a gun to her head and said, "Bitch, get on that table, become my table centerpiece for these grapes"? Is that what you think? Is that what you really think? You really think women ain't out here being them whores? Bro, any real woman would see these whores and be like, don't connect them to us. Every real woman in the world blames whores for being whores. You know why? Because it makes them look bad. Every real woman is looking at all the groupies and the whore strippers and all these women as women that make real women look bad. For some reason, you don't see it that way, though. I see it that way. There's a complete difference between women and whores. Women, there's a complete difference. You can't make a hoe a housewife. And let me just be honest. Playing Captain Sabo won't get you that far. I'm sure you can grift a few dollars out of it. I am 100% sure that other hoes or people sympathetic to hoes and feminists and shit like that will be like, yeah, sex positive, the ladies were in the right. Diddy should have never took advantage of it. Listen, but those same hoes chase their boyfriends and their husband, and they're very interested in what he does for a living and what he makes. Whether you like to admit it or not, power and money is attractive to women. Why do you think men with no direction in life, no power at all, no money, why do you think they get no pussy? Why do you think only the top 10, 20% of men get all the pussy? And then you have a bunch of incels running around crying about how they don't get any pussy. The answer to that question, the answer to why that exists, is because there's a very small amount of men that are actually sought after by women. If you look at dating sites, shit like Tinder, the same top 10, 20% of men get swiped right, while everyone else gets no messages at all, no swipes, no connections at all. And I don't want to sit here and get into this back and forth with you, but I know your video today was shot at me, was a shot at me. And you even threw in, I'm just never going to talk to you again. Fine, motherfucker. Fine. That Captain Sabo shit and all that shit doesn't work with me. At the end of the day, I'm not going to fucking fault adults for having a party and fucking and taking ecstasy and shit like that. I ain't no lame like that. I'm not going to fault these people. I'm going to call it like it is. And just because the internet all of a sudden has become a bunch of fucking pussies doesn't mean I am. Show me what Diddy did illegal, and I'll agree with you. But so far right now, all you're showing me is partying and fucking hoes and taking ecstasy. And I get it, you're going to say taking ecstasy is illegal. Boo-hoo, shut the fuck up. People take drugs all over this planet. You understand? Would you have been different? Would you have felt different if it was popping bottles? If it was drinking? No, you would have said he got her drunk and raped her. That's exactly what you would have said. Notice how that works too. Notice how a man and a woman can both get drunk or both take ecstasy and then they have sex and then they're like, it's the man that took advantage. So I guess the man wasn't drunk and fucked up too. Notice that when two adults are fucked up and they have sex, that for some reason it's on the man's fault. What if the woman is the one that brought over the fucking ecstasy? What if the woman is the one that bought the fist? You know how many women I fucked that just watched this channel that brought me liquor when they came to meet me and fucked me? Did I get raped? Should I cry rape because we got drunk and fucked and they're the ones that brought the liquor? Of course, JB, they raped you. They took advantage of you. Or did I take advantage of them? Or is it just two adults fucking and getting fucked up? The internet is way too fucking weak right now. Way too goddamn weak. And this is one of those stories. My biggest thing is I'm an innocent until proven guilty guy. Show me on the doll where diddled you. If you can't show me on the doll where diddled you, you must have quit. Because right now, I'm not seeing anything. By the way, he will get convicted because it's the feds. But all this big virtue signaling, I stand for women. I'm going to protect them all. You couldn't protect any of them. You couldn't protect any of them. Let's just be straight up. There's not a goddamn thing you could do to protect any of them. Most importantly, as the great Project Pat once said, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. That's the truth. Love you, mate, but you're wrong on this one. And your whole virtue signaling, I'm never going to talk to him again. Well, good. Oh, well. But at the end of the day, I find that really, well, weak. We disagree on this. We will not be friends no more. Okay, fine. Okay. I know this was a room splitter. See y'all next time.